It's 8:41. We're back in session. Welcome back, folks, those who are watching. We will now continue on with motion 17 that the Common Council, pursuant to the provisions of Article 3, C16 of the Oneonta City Charter, authorizes the mayor to execute an employment agreement with Gregory Mattice, setting forth the terms and conditions of his continuation of city administrator, subject to the review of the city attorney. This employment agreement shall be effective January 1, 2024. Do I have, I see Mark followed by Lou, and discussion.
You skipped 16. Which one you 16 before one? Because as a part of the contract as of 16.
Do
We already did it.
We did 16.
You voted on it?
Yep.
You sure did.
Yay!
Not just me, huh? All right, anyway, discussion?
All right.
If there's no discussion, we'll call the vote.
Councilmember Murphy?
Aye.
Councilmember Davies?
Yes.
Councilmember Risberger?
Yes.
Councilmember Horace? Aye. Councilmember Carson?
Yes.
Councilmember Harrington? Councilmember Ogilvy?
Yes.
Councilmember Butler?
Aye.
There we go.
Great, don't listen to me, that's the most.
Yeah.
So, Mayor, before you go to the adjournment,
No, we have supplement.
Yeah, we're not getting out that easy.
I appreciate that, though. The more people looking after me, the better. I've got motion number 18. That the Common Council approves the following resolution, a resolution authorizing the issuance of a $1,905,000 serial bonds of the city of Oneonta, Otsego County, New York, to pay for the cost of the purchase of a fire truck in and for said city. Be it resolved by the affirmative vote of not less than 2/3 of the total voting strength of the Common Council of the city of Oneonta, Otsego County, New York, as follows. Section 1. The purchase of a fire truck, including incidental expenses in connection therewith, in and for the city of Oneonta, Otsego County, New York, is hereby authorized at a maximum estimated cost of $1,905,000. Section 2, the plan for the financing of such object or purpose consists of the issuance of $1,905,000 in bonds of said city, hereby authorized to be issued therefore pursuant to the provisions of the local finance law, provided, however, that the amount of bonds to be issued shall be reduced to the extent of grants received in connection therewith. Section 3, the period of probable usefulness of the aforesaid specific object or purpose is hereby determined to be 20 years pursuant to subdivisions 27 of paragraph A of section 11.00 of the local finance law. Section 4, the faith and credit of said city of Oneonta, Otsego County, New York are hereby irrevocably pledged for the payment of the principal of and interest on such obligations as the same respectively become due and payable. An annual appropriation shall be made in each year sufficient to pay the principal of and interest on such obligations becoming due and payable in such year. To the extent not paid from other sources, there shall annually be levied on all taxable real property of said city a tax sufficient to pay the principal of and interest on such obligations as the same become due and payable. Section 4, the powers and duties of advertising such bonds for sale, conducting the sale and awarding the bonds are hereby delegated to the Director of Finance, who shall advertise such bonds for sale, conduct the sale, and award the bonds in such a manner as the Director of Finance shall deem best for the interests of the city. Section 5, the power to issue and sell bond anticipation notes, including renewals of such notes, is hereby delegated to the Director of Finance. Such notes shall be of such terms, form, and contents as may be prescribed by said Director of Finance, consistent with the provisions of the local finance law. Section 6. All other matters except as provided herein relating to such bonds, including determining whether to issue such bonds having substantially level or declining debt service, and all matters related thereto, prescribing whether manual or facsimile signatures shall appear on said bonds, prescribing the method for the recording of ownership of said bonds, appointing the fiscal agent or agents for said bonds, providing for the printing and delivery of said bonds, and, parentheses, and if said bonds are to be executed in the name of the city by the facsimile signature of the Director of Finance, providing for the manual counter signature of a fiscal agent or of a designated official of the city, close parentheses, the date, denominations, maturities, and interest payments, places or places of payment, and also including the consolidation with other issues shall be determined by the Director of Finance. Section 7. The validity of such bonds and bond anticipation notes may be contested only if 1. Such obligations are authorized for an object or purpose for which the city is not authorized to expend money, or 2. The provisions of law which should be complied with at the date of publication of this resolution are not substantially complied with, and an action, suit, or proceeding contesting such validity is commenced within 20 days after the date of such publication, or 3. Such obligations are authorized in violation of the provisions of the Constitution. Section 8. This resolution shall constitute a statement of official intent for purposes of Treasury Regulations, Section 1.150-2, other than as specified in this resolution. No monies are or are reasonably expected to be reserved, allocated on a long-term basis, or otherwise set aside with respect to the permanent funding of the object or purpose described herein. Section 9. This resolution, which takes effect immediately, shall be published in summary form in the official newspaper, together with a notice of the city clerk in substantially the form provided in section 81.00 of the local finance law. Do I have a motion to approve? Looking at Dave, nothing from you, Mark? Followed by Katie, and discussion.
Can you read that again?
It would be wrong. If there's no discussion, then we'll call the vote.
Councilmember Murphy?
Aye.
Councilmember Davies?
Yes.
Councilmember Risberger?
Yes.
Councilmember LaPartiezu? Aye. Councilmember Carson?
Here.
Councilmember
Yes.
Councilmember Harrington? Councilmember Overby?
Yes.
Councilmember Falco? Aye.
And finally, motion number 19, that the Common Council concurs with the mayor's recommendation and approves the following appointments to a city board and or commission. To the Huntington Memorial Library Board of Trustees, Susan Kenny. She'll serve till the expiration date of December 31st, 2028. Do I have a motion to approve? Mark, followed by Emily. Thank you. And discussion.
You can answer the single question we asked?
Yes, she lives in the city.
Is
Former,
it typical for this board to be 4 years instead of 3?
They're a 5-year term.
5?
go ahead, Katie.
Can you tell us who is no longer on the board?
Yeah, Carolyn Austin is termed out.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Thanks.
Yeah,
It's been a while.
Yeah.
I don't know, for her to term out.
She
Um,
didn't go to school together, so not even concluded.
She still has her hair.
Further discussion? We'll call the roll.
Councilmember Murphy? Aye. Councilmember Davies?
Yes.
Councilmember Risberger?
Yes.
Councilmember LaPartiezu?
Aye.
Councilmember Carson?
Yes.
Councilmember Harrington?
Oh, yeah.
Councilmember Overby?
Yep.
Councilmember Falco? Aye.
Okay. Well, this brings us to additional business. We have a submission of a 30-day advance notice to a local municipality. Liquor license, liquor, wine, beer, and cider has been received from Dazo's Kitchen for the property located at 42 River Street. And I wonder how the council might feel about expediting this.
Absolutely.
No objection.
Yeah.
Okay? That's the consensus of the council. That's great. Wonderful. Any additional business or items for council? Dave?
Yes. I am. So, I had to write this out. So, as you're all aware, after 12 years, this is my last council meeting. It's been a long city government journey for me that shifting to being a direct participant in setting things in motion to hopefully rejuvenate the Market Street, Water Street, and Main Street area of our beloved city. Of course, I was never on this journey by myself. I'd like to thank my current and past fellow council people who, outside of the 8 of you sitting here, include Maureen Hennessy, Paul Vandersomen, Michelle Frazier, Larry Malone, Melissa Nicosia, Michelle Osterhout, Mike Lynch, Dana Levinson, Madeline Palmer, Russ Southard, Mike Naples, John Rafter, Bob Brzezowski, Chip Holmes, and Joe Ficano. We all knew that the seats in which we each occupied did not belong to our families or ourselves. They belong to the people of our wards, and they're on loan from our successors. I'd like to thank the city employees for giving 110% every day to our city and its residents to make our community a better place in which to live, work, and play. We have a tremendous staff, and we probably don't say thank you enough. I'd like to thank Mayor Kim Muller for being my frequent soundboard over the years. Whether or not she enjoyed that is up for debate, but she was usually a captive audience. I'd like to thank Mayor Gary Herzig for leading our city staff and council through one of its darker times. I'd like to thank Russ Southard again for stepping up and filling the mayor role for nearly a year, a job he didn't want, but felt it was his duty to the city residents and the staff to fill that role to help keep the lights on. I'd like to thank City Attorney Dave Herzig for his quick wit, his patience in answering my over-the-shoulder questions, and his ability to answer a question with more questions to make us understand that there are rarely simple answers to issues. I'd also like to thank City Administrator Greg Mattice. Thank you for stepping forward to move from your comfortable city engineer position to take on a new position that was struggling in its infancy. You're the modest, level-headed individual that was needed for the position to succeed. I'd like to thank Mayor Dick Miller for teaching me how important the role of facilitator is during meetings, how to zero in on what's important while filtering out the noise when looking for solutions, and how the way to move forward is to adhere to the process and keep the arrows pointed in the same direction. Lastly, I'd like to thank my neighbors in the 3rd Ward for trusting me to represent them, and my family for forgiving me for the hours spent away from home and the dinners missed over the years. Mayor, fellow current and incoming council members, I see a road ahead with some concerns, but I also see many avenues of hope and potential. We've laid the groundwork over the last 4 years for downtown growth and improvement that can bring prosperity to our community, and if we continue to be positive, support our city staff, and move forward together, we can turn this hope and potential into a reality. Thank you, and Godspeed.
Thank you, Dave. Have we anything for, yes, Lynn?
Just want to do a shout out that Michelle Caton, who is the representative at the county board for the town of Oneonta, is the leader of the band putting a dinner together for the families, the 21 plus families for Richards Avenue this Thursday at the Vets Club. So if anybody wants to volunteer or all the costs, this is just going to be a dinner for those families, trying to get them there. So.
Good. Scott?
I got a couple of things. First of all, thank you to everyone here that reached out to me, and missing the long council meeting that you guys had. That's probably the marathon council meeting we've ever had. I really appreciate the city staff too that's reached out. I can't say, Brian, your crew that came and grabbed me from work was phenomenal. Patient. I don't remember some of my interaction with them, so hopefully it wasn't too bad. They're telling me stories at work and some of the stuff I said, so, but they were phenomenal. Please pass it on. We have probably one of the reasons why I live in the city, just because of our fire, our police, our city staff, as Dave said. They're awesome. Second thing is watching you in action at Richard Street. The level head that you had, taking sometimes you guys don't get enough credit. Our police department was right there. They brought the big hot dog truck up. First time I've seen that in action. Stuck right there too, so if you could pass along to the police department as well. There was a sense of calm on that scene that I've never seen in a long time. You guys all deserve a great deal of praise at a bad time. The other thing that I would like to say is to Mark, Dave, Ed, never did I think in a million years coming up here on the council that I'd make friends. I thought it was one of the places where it's hard. You don't really, you have a divide. I think this council here did a lot. I know we didn't always agree, but we got through some tough times because of the city staff, the mayor, you guys, and just thank you for your service.
Thank you, Scott. If anybody else would like, yes, Ed.
I've only been here a short time, so this is gonna be brief. I just wanna thank, council for confirming me and putting up with me for the last 6 months. I have gained a tremendous amount of respect for everybody here and for the jobs that you do. And I would, in closing, I would like to salute the Lion of Common Council, Dave Risberger, for 12 years on council.
Thank you. And if there's, okay, Luke?
No, I'll just be really brief. Thank you for stepping up. It's not easy being on council. I can't imagine it was easy for me in June. So thank you for stepping up during a hard time. And thank you to Mark and Dave for your mentorship and your guidance. And I think your successors will be great, but you will definitely be missed.
And I saw the chief's hand come up.
I just wanted to know, Greg, did we talk about going into executive session to talk about that was affected by the Richards Ave incident?
I don't think we need to do that tonight.
Okay.
Thanks.
Okay, and if there's no one else, then, yes, Jenny?
I just want to take the opportunity, one, I want to thank you for voting Greg's contract. I think Greg is one of the best things that has happened to the city as a whole and as a team leader. So I thank you for that. I think the community will really benefit from his leadership. I also want to thank Ed for stepping up and filling the chair. It's very hard to walk into the middle of many different projects going on. But Ed, know that I thought your comments were always thoughtful, well informed. And to Mark Davies, you will be truly missed. I found all of your comments and your votes very thoughtful and well informed. And you made a difference while you were here. And to David, we worked together for many years. You will be missed. And I thank you very much for everything that we have done together as a team. And just know, what you've done here in this room has made a difference for your home. And your home is the entire community. And I thank you sincerely.
Chris, you're the only person who hasn't spoken, but you don't need to. You don't need to, you don't need to, you're just picking on you. So if there's nothing else, I just want to wish everybody a wonderful holiday. If we don't see one another between now and then, and again to everyone, thank you so much for your service. And with that,